All right, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. Looks like we are live. How's it going, everybody? My name is Andrew, and this is Rocket Future. Welcome. We're hanging out here on the side of Highway 4 at Starbase, which is SpaceX's launch facility down here in Boca Chica, Texas. We're live for a pretty exciting event. They just started closing the road down right this moment, and we're going to see something very special here today. Right down this road behind me, we're going to see Booster 7. This is a giant rocket, literally roll vertically right down the street into the launch facility that's right next to me here on my right. So this should be pretty awesome to see live. It's going to be great, you wait till you see it. It's going to be amazing. Now, the booster is rolling pretty slowly. It's probably still about 15 or 20 minutes away. In the meantime, on the other camera, we do have some live views of the launch tower and of Booster 9. So you'll see that rocket there on, I think it's on the left-hand side, right? Yep, on the left-hand side screen, you see that big silver rocket, and that's Booster 9. So Booster 7 looks similar to that, a little bit different, but yeah, it's going to roll right down the street here, and it's going to be present until we see it roll by. I'm going to continue just to get some stuff ready here. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat. But thanks for joining us here for this event today. This could be the last time that Booster 7 ever rolls. Booster 7 has rolled from the build site to the launch site multiple times. However, we're hoping that this thing actually launches sometime in the next 2 or 3 months. Could take a little bit longer. We'll have to wait and find out. But 2 to 3 months sounds like a good estimate based on some communications from SpaceX. So we'll have to wait and see. But this is going to be quite the scene. This could be history being made. Booster 7 potentially rolling to the launch site for the last time, and then we might see some testing happen. We're going to see Ship 24 lifted on top of Booster 7 to make a full stack Starship, and we're going to see some really amazing stuff. So Booster 7 will be placed on that launch site, that launch tower, and again we're expecting to see Ship 24 put on top of Booster 7, maybe go through some more testing before launch day. So that's exciting. Keep your ears out for when we get an official launch date. Could be towards the end of February, could be into March, but we'll have to wait to see how the rest of the testing goes. Again, when it launches, this will be the most powerful, largest rocket ever launched, which is really impressive. SLS, I think, the N1 rocket from Russia holds that record right now. However, it wasn't a successful launch. So SLS, technically, the Artemis mission earlier, or in 2022, at the end of 2022, holds the record for the largest rocket that succeeded to deliver its payload. So this will beat SLS when it gets off the ground, which is really exciting. Whole purpose of the Starship vehicle. Oh, you see the sheriff's coming down the road now. Which means the boosters should be getting close. You will see it. I'll move some cameras around as soon as it's in view. Don't worry, we're going to get you a view of the booster as soon as I can see it from here. But again, it's probably going to be 10 or 15 minutes. So that being said, give me just a few minutes to get some stuff settled. I'll check in on your questions. And in the meantime, enjoy our views of Starbase here. Thanks. I did see that I had some dropped frames, so I'm going to adjust our settings a little bit, just in case I was dropping out. Let me know how I sound. Give me a 5x5, or let me know if my audio was dropping out. But like I said, I'll make an adjustment now just to try to get any of those drops, get rid of any of those drops. David says, hi from Hungary. Thank you for joining. Niall, welcome. You're going to get insane views right there. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Todd, awesome. I thought you were at the build site. No, I wanted to be here down at the launch site, Todd, just so we see it roll into the launch site. It seems like everybody's out at the build site today, so it's kind of cool that I'm the only one doing the video from down here at the launch site. Brandon, greetings from Canada. Welcome, Brandon. Thanks for hanging out with us. Angela, hi, Andrew. Greeting from Hungary, Budapest. Welcome, Angela. And Todd says 5x5, so it sounds like our audio is good. So thanks, everybody. And if you're just joining us, again, we're going to be seeing a giant rocket roll down this road in just 10 to 15 minutes. So be patient. I'll get you views of that as soon as we get it. Just setting some stuff up here in the background, checking in on the stream health, all that good stuff. We are broadcasting the stream to you right now via Starlink. So the video you're seeing is actually being sent up into space and then back down to a ground station and delivered through the internet to your screen, which is pretty dang cool if you ask me. So we do have to kind of... just accept when there may be lower video quality or any audio drops, because again, this is being broadcast through satellites, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. Todd says, I didn't hear any dropouts. That is actually great news. Thank you. Pooey says, hi from UK. Everything is okay. Hi from UK. Poo-yahoo. I don't really know how to pronounce that. I like the name, though. I just noticed that anytime I flip my microphone from off to on, it looks like it pegs out the audio. So apologies if that was loud. I'll mute myself via the actual OBS rather than the mic. That's unfortunate. Pooh, H-U as in Hungarian. Okay, Pooh as in Winnie the Pooh. Gotcha. Yeah, thanks as always. Thank you everybody from Hungary for tuning in. And thanks for Space Junkie for working with us on some of these projects that we're doing, which is awesome. Really appreciate everybody tuning in. Oh, speaking of Space Junkie says, hey Andrew, good to see you back in action. Great view as always. Let's hope this is the final time we see B7 rolling anywhere. Absolutely, I'm really excited, and I have a pretty good feeling that this may be the last time we see Booster 7 rolling. So I have a feeling they're gonna roll Booster 7 down here today, bring it into the launch facility, put it on top of the orbital launch mount, and you know, they've probably made some changes to Booster 7 while I was in the build site, so I don't know if they'll do some smaller tests. But then if they get past that, I think we'll see Ship 24 be placed on top of Booster 7, and then we'll see a wet dress rehearsal, or at least that's what I think. And a wet dress rehearsal is when they fully load the rocket with all of the fuels that they would need for a launch, and basically proceed through a launch countdown as if they were going to launch. But at T-0, you know, they don't actually, whether they do a static fire or not, they're not going to launch it during the wet dress rehearsal. At least they're not going to try to. So just keeping an eye on to see when Booster 7 is going to come into view. But yeah, wet dress rehearsal, and or maybe a 33 engine static fire of Booster 7 that could happen before they mate Ship 24 on top of Booster 7. And then I think we're pretty close to a launch date. So obviously this is all just me educated guessing, trying to kind of see what SpaceX has done in the past and what they have communicated as what they need to do before a launch date. But yeah, like I said, Booster 7 down here on the launch mount, maybe a 33 engine static fire. S24 on top of Booster 7, full stack. Wet dress rehearsal, launch license, and maybe some ground support equipment testing. And then I think they're pretty much ready. There's some speculation out there in the community thinking that it's possible that they may not even use Booster 7 for launch date. That is very hot. That's highly speculative. At the moment, I do not think that's likely. I think they're going to launch Booster 7. Of course, they've learned a lot from Booster 7 that they need to apply to their future boosters. So, I'm sure Booster 8 I guess is kind of irrelevant. It's over in the Rocket Garden. I don't think they're going to do anything with that. But Booster 9, I'm sure, has a lot of changes that aren't in Booster 7. But that's okay. That doesn't mean that they won't learn anything from a launch in Booster 7. I think they're going to keep making iterative changes to these vehicles, and I think they just got to get one up and test it. Because if they keep waiting until they make changes and want to use the next vehicle, they're never going to get to launch. So I think it's looking pretty good for Booster 7 and a Ship 24 launch sometime, hopefully in Q1 of 2023. So again, 2 or 3 months from now, could be really cool. Todd says, I shared your live to a couple of Discord chats. Oh, thank you so much, Todd. I really appreciate that. That actually reminds me, I forgot to mention on my Discord that I was live. Let me do that real quick while we're talking. Space Junkie says, do you know if they finished with testing the clamps on the OLM? So yeah, if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the giant launch tower. What you don't really see is the orbital launch mount, which is at the base of the launch tower. I guess it was last week, they tested the clamps that hold down the rocket during a countdown, or just when it's on the launch mount in general. They tested that by putting an attachment and then attaching a lot of weight on the bottom to kind of simulate the weight of a fully fueled Starship Super Heavy launch vehicle. That's at least what the community thinks had been tested there. The fact that they're moving the booster down here and the counterweights that they used for that test have been moved off of the OLM area, I have a feeling they're probably done with that. But of course, you never know. You might see that test, they could redo the test or do more of that testing. So we'll have to see. When we see this booster getting close, what I'm going to have to do is start up my cameras and then make sure everything's rolling, because a lot of the times, even though I'm kind of, I don't know, I was going to say, even though I'm a few feet away from the gate, I'm pretty dang close. So they usually tell me to step back once the booster gets close. So I do want to make sure I start up my cameras and everything. That way, if they ask me to step back, I still have everything rolling. None of my stuff is in the way, which is the most important part. If you ever come down here to Starbase, which you should come down and see it all for yourself, but make sure your priority number one is staying out of the way of SpaceX and the people that work down here. This is a very unique opportunity to be able to come down and see all this stuff with our own eyes. And it's really absolutely amazing. Every day that I'm down here, it just blows me away. And we need to make sure that we can keep that. So if you're going to come down here, stay out of everybody's way. Just have the utmost respect for the people that are working here. And just make sure you aren't in anybody's way. So I'm doing the same thing here today. I am, far enough away that I'm not going to impede in any way. But for my safety, a lot of times the sheriff will ask me to take a few more steps back. So that's what I'm expecting today. So when we see this booster get close, I'm going to start up that camera. I have a couple more cameras going. I'm going to get those things rolling, and we're going to see it. So give me just a couple minutes here. I'm going to take a walk a little bit over here and just see if I can see the booster approaching, and I'll let you know how close we are. Alright, we're getting pretty dang close, so I'm going to start making some adjustments on my cameras here before it's too late. There's ship 24. Actually, you can't quite see ship 24 because I got it cut off. But I just I want to make sure that we're set up for when the booster comes, so I can show you ship 24 later. We'll keep it split screened here for a few more moments while I answer some more questions and talk to y'all. At some point, I will go full screen like this. Although I'm realizing, there we go. I'll go full screen like that. That way you get the best view of the ship or the booster coming down the road. Gritch says, Space Junkie, the jig was disassembled and removed, so it looks like we're happy with the result. Looks like we may had a momentary handover of Starlink satellites. I saw my OBS disconnected for a brief moment there. So if you can hear me and you can see the stream, just give me another 5x5. Just let me know we're good. Most of the time, OBS will let me know if we completely lost connection. But sometimes, one or two times, I've seen it actually say that we're good, and then it was down. I get a 5x5 from Todd. Thank you. We got some spam in the chat. I'll try to remove that. Alright, I gotta get my cameras going here. Todd said I had a small cutout and back really fast, didn't miss much at all. Oh, very good. Alright, let me get these cameras rolling. Second camera, where is it? There it is. Alright, good news. Oh, yeah, great point. Oh, yo, Gritch, thank you for pointing that out. We have a few minutes before the booster gets here. I just caught where it was. Let me get you a view of the chopstick lifting right now. Alright, if you take a look at the left-hand side of the screen, you can see those chopsticks raising up to the top of that tower. That should be in preparation of lifting Booster 9 off of the SPMT and onto either a test stand or onto the OLM itself. It's very slow, but you can tell it is moving up. SQD moved back also. We might be hanging out for a lift tonight as well. We'll have to see. So yeah, an update for you. I did see Booster 7. It is getting dang close, but it's still probably another 10-15 minutes away. But it should be within view of our cameras here in just a few minutes. It just won't be turning that corner for another 10 maybe minutes or so. And if you're just joining us, I'd just like to say thanks for hanging out. My name is Andrew, and this is Rocket Future. We're covering the most exciting parts of spaceflight. Today, we're down here at Starbase at Boca Chica, Texas, where SpaceX is building the Starship vehicle, which will be the largest, most powerful rocket ever launched. It'll be used to bring people to the moon, Mars, potentially point-to-point travel here on Earth, and so many more things. If you look on the left-hand side of the screen, we have a live view of the launch tower, and those two black arms are actually being raised up on the tower right now. I don't know if I've actually seen this happen this close before. I'm realizing this now. I don't know if I've ever actually seen the Chopsticks move from at the site here. So, and I've definitely 100% never seen a lift of a booster onto the OLM from the launch site. Usually they do a full road closure for that type of activity. So I'm kind of curious what's going to happen tonight. Now, we don't have the best location right now for if they do lift the booster on top of the launch mount. So we're going to have to see how things go here. If they reopen the road after the rollout right now, and it's going to come pretty much right by us down here and into the launch site here. So we're going to hang out here. We got cameras rolling. At some point, they're probably going to ask me to take a few more steps back, so hopefully we can get everything in good shape before then. But yeah, let me get another update of where this booster's at for you. When I walked over there, I could see it, so it is getting close, but it just takes so long. Oh yeah, I did not have to step far at all to find the booster. It's getting close. Space Junkie says lots of activity must be an awesome sight being right there now. Very exciting. I'll tell you what, Space Junkie. Something has happened here. Something has happened here in the last 5-10 days. Actually, probably 5 days. There is this tangible feeling of excitement. There's always been excitement here. It's always been, something really special, a special vibe down here. But I think everybody's really feeling that launch is getting close. There's just this energy that I've never felt down here before. And today is a great example. We're seeing so much happen. And it's just so amazing. So it's great. It's great. It feels more real now, Gritch says. Absolutely. Gritch says, like, all the items are being checked off and flight is just around the corner. That's really what it feels like. That's actually what it feels like here. It's surreal. And let me just hedge my bet a little bit and say that at any point in time, SpaceX could do some testing that kind of brings out some new information, that some change that they need to make, or they realize something is not working the way they thought it would, and that could put the vehicle back by a couple weeks, a couple months. a year. It could happen. I don't think it's super likely at this point. Of course, we're going to see a lot of changes happening to these vehicles, but I think they're just going to launch Booster 7. I think as long as they're reasonably sure that they're not going to rud or basically blow up on the pad and damage all the ground support equipment, I think things are going to be looking pretty good. All right, I can see Booster 7 from here, so it'll be in view in just a second here. I will transition the second camera over as well, but I just want to get as much of these chopsticks as I can. In worst case scenario, you do have this second camera that will show the booster, so I'm not worried. Now, when the booster gets close, the fisheye, these cameras have a little bit of a fisheye lens, so it actually kind of looks like the booster is leaning, but I can tell you it's just an artifact from the way these lenses are, and it's just so close. But yeah, the booster's perfectly vertical. It's funny though, if you look at these rollouts on a time lapse, they do have a little bit of a lean, not a lean, but like a, I don't know, it kind of rocks back and forth as it's moving down the road. But so far, all the rollouts have been safe and secure. So let's hope it continues to be that way. Now I'm curious if you'd be able to see the booster yet. I'm going to make an adjustment here. All right, the chopsticks appear to have been stopped moving, so I'm gonna change my camera now. They could continue to go up, but I think we saw most of that. There's the booster out there. It doesn't look like much yet, but it's gonna get real big real fast. So again, what we're seeing right now is we see Starhopper right kind of in the center there, and then off to the, you get a couple of those black containers, or I don't know what you can call those, little black towers, and then further left you see that silver tower sticking out. That's the booster. It's slowly rolling here. Again, that's literally going to roll down the road right beside us, and it's going to be amazing. So we're getting close. At some point soon, I'm going to be asked to move. So when I do, I'll switch to this scene and I'll just let it roll. In fact, I'm going to leave it on the scene for now. And then when the booster's getting close, I'm going to try to switch back to the other scene for a quick moment, just to kind of describe what we're seeing, and then I'll switch back to this scene. All right, I'm getting excited. Wow. I almost think I can see Ship 24's reflection in Booster 7, but I don't know what that is. I don't think so. I think that's just like, I don't know, some markings on the vehicle. It's a little bit darker. Space Junkie says, no matter how many times I see a booster or ship roll, the theme song of Jaws always comes into my mind. Absolutely. I could see why that would be. There's a chance they might not ask me to step back, but usually they won't until it's right where like Starhopper is. But important thing is safety for everybody involved. I'm gonna go restart my camera there. Hopefully I don't push my luck. Alright, all cameras are rolling. As you can see, that booster is now getting close. Another quick reconnection of OBS, but hopefully we are still live. Worst case scenario, I am recording everything as well. I'm going to change that headline right now. It definitely looks like Starlink is struggling. Give me one more 5x5 if we're still live. Todd and Ben said 5x5 and still good. Yeah, Starlink has been decent all day, but it definitely seems to be having some problems right now. And I don't know if it's because it's windy. Like, I don't know if my dish is kind of moving a little bit, but as long as we're live, then I'm happy. I think one of my cameras is no longer live. Let me fix that. You're gonna see me for a second. And now let me switch back. Alright. Alright, the sheriff is kind of reversing here. Let me do a quick update before I get asked to move back. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, we're good. All right, if you're just joining us, hello everybody. My name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. We're covering the most exciting parts of human spaceflight and rocketry in general. Right now, it's a really exciting day. Booster 7 is rolling from the Starbase build site down here to the launch facility. This might be the last time we ever see Booster 7 roll down this road. Fingers are crossed because Booster 7 is coming down to the launch site for some further testing, and potentially we could see this thing launching Starship in the next 2 to 3 months. Again, that timeline could change drastically, but we're going to hope that it all stays on schedule here. So Booster 7 is rolling down the road right now, and they're gonna place it on the orbital launch mount likely in the next few days or maybe even tonight. Run some more testing on it, potentially a static fire. Hopefully we eventually see Ship 24 restacked on Booster 7 for a full wet dress rehearsal, and then maybe we'll get a launch date. So we're just hanging here and watching the booster roll down Highway 4 here. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining us on a potentially historic moment. Again, this could be the rocket that finally gets Starbase or Starship into orbit for the first time, or if it's a near orbital flight test, that's okay too. But it would be the first time that a booster has ever flown. They did some hop tests on the Starships, but they've never actually flown one of these boosters yet. So if Booster 7 is the one to go, this is a historic moment. Again, these could be the vehicles, the prototype version of the vehicles that bring people back to the moon and to Mars, and so many more things. So you're witnessing something that could be a very historic day here. In just a few moments, I'm going to go full screen. I'll get off the camera so you guys get a beautiful view of the booster coming in here. But I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed if they just joined. Again, my name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. Thanks for hanging out today. This is awesome. Enjoy your view. Alright, they're probably going to push me back here. Oh, it's a little... Shoot, let me see if I can fix the focus real quick. It's definitely not in the perfect focus. There we go, that's better. Ben says, I can't believe you clickbaited us. Booster 7 got pulled over. Keep watching to find out what happens next. I know, right? Wow. This is insane. This never gets old. So far, we're still hanging tight here. Space Junkie says colossal size. Wow. I gotta get my other camera, 1 second. How tiny a person compared to B7, I know, right? I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. Welcome back, Booster 7. This is the best rollout yet. Holy... No problem, Jeff. No problem. Thank you for hanging out. Brandon, how fast does that thing move? I went outside to flip burgers and it's nearly home. It moves pretty quick. Way faster than you would expect. I'm definitely kind of in the danger zone here. This is insane. How's this for coverage, y'all? SPMTs are fantastic machines. Always blows my mind their capacity. Capabilities. Absolutely. It's official. Booster 7 is back at the Starbase build site, Starbase launch site. Hopefully those are some words I'll never say again. Hopefully I will never have to say that Booster 7 is back at the build site. Hopefully this is the last time this thing gets on Highway 4 at all. I want to see the next moves this thing makes is onto the launch mount. Oh, I just noticed the chopsticks are wide open. I want to see this on the launch mount, and then I want to see this thing launch. Big shout outs to the sheriffs and everybody at SpaceX that made this roll happen today. That was a beautiful, beautiful rollout. I actually am kind of at a loss for words here. I'm just feeling the excitement happening here at Starbase right now. This is insane. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And if you're just joining us, let me make some adjustments here. If you're just joining us, again, we just saw Booster 7 roll from the SpaceX Starbase build site to the launch site. This has been actually an amazing rollout. I'm honestly so happy right now. This has just been insane. You can see the photographers and everything getting their shots. We're going to hang out with you here for a little while more. The Chopsticks are open. I don't know if we're going to get a lift today or not, but the fact that they're kind of open like that is a good sign that we have a chance to maybe see a lift onto the orbital launch mount today. And that will be the first time that I ever see one from down here at the launch site. Usually they close the road for that, so maybe they've reached a confidence level where they feel like they don't need to close the road for a lift with the Chopsticks. Again, I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. It's all just speculation until it actually happens, but wow. Amazing. So we're not going anywhere, at least not for a little bit, until I run out of patience or until we see some evidence one way or the other if we're going to see any more activity today. Successful rollout of Booster 7. Things are looking great. I'm just going to take a couple minutes to answer some questions, and then I'll just take a little bit of a break here. I'll stay live on stream, and I'll give you views of the launch tower and everything. So yeah, let's see if y'all have any questions. Flame me in, down, exit up. Yep. Hey Andrew, nice catch. Thank you. If they let you stay there for the lift, that would be amazing. Absolutely. Jeff says, Rocket Future is Stargazer down there. Yeah, Starship Gazer. I saw Starship Gazer a little while ago down at the build site, so I think he was covering this rollout from the build site today. We're gonna watch this thing roll to wherever it's rolling to. If you follow me on Twitter, you will actually see that I was kind of surprised this happened today. The entrance to the launch site looked a little bit like there was like too much stuff in the way for a roll in today, but apparently it wasn't a big deal. We're about to see some double vision here if Booster 7 heads way towards Booster 9. I'll take a quick moment just to pan over to the launch tower so y'all can see the Chopsticks have opened up. Check that out. So we'll see if Booster 7 migrates over there. We got some liquid oxygen coming into the launch site. I think I see Jack from NSF. Awesome, yeah, we saw his shots from there earlier. Yeah, he always gets amazing shots. Yeah, he was down there at the build site. Yep. Traffic is picking up. I'll tell you what, folks. I'm gonna move the Jeep. I'm gonna try to move so we can get a good view if we see a lift today. So here's the deal. I may entirely lose my connection. The stream may go down. It may be brief and momentary, and we might be able to come live just right here in the same stream. But there's a chance we're going to lose connection for long enough that we won't be able to recover this link. But what I want to do is get a beautiful angle at the launch site, OLM, and everything. So we're going to be trying to roll with our Starlink connected. So bear with me here. We'll see how this goes. I don't know. We might completely lose connection. If I do, another stream will be going up on the YouTube. Take a look. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get notified about these events. In case I do lose connection to... Oh, I don't know where that went. All right. Yeah, just bear with me for a bit. Oh, welcome, Titan. Enjoying Maui? Hope so. All right, we're about to roll here. So, again, if we lose connection, see if the stream comes back. If not, check YouTube for another link. Okay, did we make it? Are we still live? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Give me a 5x5 if we're still live. I have a 5x5 from Todd. That is great news. Need to make some adjustments here. Bear with me. Jeff says, thumbs up. Pooh from Hungary says, perfect. Thomas says, 5x5. All okay, still live from Balance. Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. So check out this shot that we're seeing right now. We got Booster 9 and Booster 7 literally side by side. We're 5x5, and we got boosters side by side. Those chopsticks are wide open, looking ready to do some work. Again, I have no indication that they're definitely doing a lift today by any means. It is actually a little bit windy. I don't know how much that affects their ability to do a lift or not. But we're going to hang out here for a bit to see what happens. So this is actually a really unique opportunity to see Booster 7 right next to Booster 9. The first difference I see is color. So the question is, what's the reason for the color difference? Is it literally just one of the boosters is weathered a little bit more? Wow, it just took me a second to realize what I was looking at. Looks like Booster 7 has already bypassed Booster 9, and so Booster 7 is the one that's closest to the launch tower right now. So Booster 7's been weathered a bit more. Is that why it's darker? Is there a different stainless steel combination used? Who knows? It's probably just weathered a little bit more or something, though. It's gone through a bunch of cryo and stuff. Todd says, seriously epic shot. Thank you, Todd. Yo, I want to see this thing get lifted. So the good news is... Oh, I just realized my camera is frozen. Let me fix that for you. There we go. Sorry. And let me get the angles situated here. Wow. Wow. Do you see all those birds? That was cool. Well, I'll tell you what, it certainly looks like they're positioning the booster for a lift. So, before we get too excited, let me just, again, hedge my bets for a quick moment here. I'm also noticing that I'm kind of peaking out my audio here every now and then, so I gotta be careful of that. So sorry if the audio keeps getting kind of clipped. I'll adjust the audio as I'm talking and try to get it a little bit better. But one thing I want to say is it is not uncommon for them to roll a booster into place and then lower the chopsticks around it and then just leave the chopsticks kind of holding onto the booster and not do a lift. We may not see a lift onto the OLM, but I'd say right now it's about 50-50. One reason to think maybe not is just because generally speaking they do those during a road closure, but that doesn't mean that they won't do a lift right now. Either way, we should see those chopsticks move down onto the booster, so that'll be cool to see. So let me get the other camera set up, and we'll keep doing some live coverage here. Speaking of Starship Gazer, he is rolling up. While I'm setting up the other camera here, I just want to take another second to just thank everybody who's been here hanging out. These streams are a lot more motivating and a lot more exciting, I think, for everyone involved when there's people here hanging out and chatting with us. So again, my whole point in doing this is because I want y'all to get to experience what's happening down here, and I know y'all can't make it down in person. So the fact that you're here and you're chatting and interacting with me today lets me know that I'm kind of, I'm succeeding with my goal. So Just thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate y'all more than you know it. Just gonna get a second camera up for a commentary view. So keep hanging out here. I'm just gonna keep working on that. It looks like I need to get a USB extension cord for the microphone here. What's up? Testing 1, 2, 3. So here's the thing, I'm not going to be able to see where I'm standing in the camera. So I'm actually recording a quick clip right here just to see how I look in frame, if I'm too close, too far, too left, too right. So I'm just a little bit of a test, and then I'm just gonna go back and take a look at that video clip to see if I need to move my adjustment. So let's see, or adjust my position. All right, not too bad actually. Not bad. I'm gonna Ad Astra. Andrew was the man. Thanks. Hey, no problem, Ad Astra. I appreciate that. It looks like I can tilt down like one notch, and then maybe I could have gotten a little bit closer. So yeah, let's try that. All right. So if you're just joining us, my name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. Again, we cover the most exciting moments of spaceflight. I guess we document the most exciting moments of spaceflight for everybody to see. So we're trying to share all these exciting events with everybody. So thanks for hanging out today. Already super exciting stream. So what we're looking at here is Booster 7, which is right next to the launch mount. And we might the orbital launch mount. We might actually get to see it lifted onto the mount today. I'm not too sure if that's going to happen or not. We'll have to wait and stay patient and see what they do with that. But they just moved this from the build site. Oh, hold on. Let me shut my door. Again, rule number 1 down here is make sure you stay out of people's way, just so we don't lose access to being able to come down here and do these things. So Yeah, they just rolled Booster 7 from the build site down here to the launch site, and we have live views right now of the orbital launch tower. Its arms, its chopsticks have been opened and positioned above the booster. So we're waiting to see if those two black arms come down around the booster and close on it. And they may just leave it like that, or they may actually lift the booster on top of the orbital launch mount. Now, as I'm talking, it's starting to rain a little bit, and it's getting kind of windy. So my opinions on whether or not they're going to lift it onto the mount, the chances are dwindling a little bit just based on this weather, and the fact that if you look closely on the orbital launch mount right now, there is a lift up. Someone is looking at the mount. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but I guess we'll wait and see. I'm gonna have to start seeing how I can protect. Sorry, I'm probably really close. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Good to see you. That was an awesome rollout.
Right? That was amazing. It looks like they're going straight for like stacking.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. We'll see with this weather and stuff. But yeah, that was a beautiful rollout, though. It was like one of the best.
Did you walk behind it?
No, I was parked right out here at the launch site.
Well, you gotta come in.
Yeah. That's what I try to do. Like if it's going that way, I try to be on that side. If it's coming this way, I try to be on this side. So, yeah.
Yeah, let us walk behind it.
That's awesome.
We were just like walk behind it like the old days.
Maybe I'll try to do that sometime.
Yeah, probably next one.
Very cool. Cool. Talk to you soon. So yeah, we'll see if they lift this thing up on the mount or not. We'll have to wait and see. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, right. So two of my cameras here. One of them is all weather rated. One of them's good. The one I'm talking to you on right now, I probably want to keep this out if it started like actually raining. And then I have one connection here that I would want to try to tape up or something. So in a couple minutes, I might just try to see what I can wrap around that one connection. But otherwise, we can probably stay live even if it starts raining here. But we'll have to see what they end up doing here. I think at minimum we'll see those chopsticks lower down around the booster, but again, we'll just have to be patient and find out. Let me check in with y'all to see if you have any questions or anything. Andy says perfect view. Gerard says 5x5. Thank you. Looks like we're good. Does anybody have any questions about what we're seeing here today? I'm going to take a couple minutes here just to wrap up this one connection, just in case it starts raining. And I'm going to try to get a couple tweets out, a couple posts on social media. Harry says, when do you reckon the static fire will be? So yeah, let me come back on screen here. Harry is asking when we think static fire might be. So I think what Harry is referring to is a 33 engine static fire of Booster 7. So just to kind of recap a little bit earlier, we were talking, and some of the major milestones that need to happen before SpaceX launches this rocket is they potentially need to do a full 33 engine static fire of Booster 7. Then they need to mount Ship 24 on top of Booster 7 to make a full stack, a wet dress rehearsal, an FAA launch license, and then maybe we can see a launch. So there's some thoughts that SpaceX may actually just go straight to a full stack. They might just put Ship 24 on top of Booster 7 and skip the static fire for now, or completely skip it. But we'll have to wait and see. If they actually do want to static fire Booster 7 prior to full stack, I would expect to see that in the next week or two. We'll have to wait again and see. They made some changes to Booster 7, nothing too crazy, but I don't know if they're going to want to do a cryo or anything like that first. I kind of doubt it, but I would expect if they get this thing on the launch mount in the next day, maybe even tonight, I would expect to see, if they are going to static fire, that happening in the next week or two. There's some road closures published. I don't have them on top of my head right now. I'll check in just a few minutes. But there are road closures published, so that they could be coming down the line. So we'll have to wait and see. One question I have is, I think one question is I have, can they put Ship 24 on top of Booster 7, do a wet dress rehearsal, and finish the wet dress rehearsal with a 33 engine static fire? I think people have said that you can't necessarily, or they wouldn't want to do the static fire with Ship 24 on top of Booster 7. I don't really know. So we'll have to wait and see. I know I've said that a million times. We'll have to wait and see. It's just kind of the name of the game down here. But it's true. Keeping a close eye on those chopsticks to see if they start lowering around the booster. Rob Moon says, where can we get coffee at the launch site? So, hey, Rob. So no coffee to be found at the launch site. Sometimes I keep some coffees on me in my Jeep. I didn't today, though, unfortunately. But I usually do keep some coffees with me in case anybody needs one. Todd says, I think it's BYOC out there. Bring your own coffee, for sure. Andrew Paris is back. Thomas says, have they completed the work on the OLM? They've completed a lot of the work on the OLM. Have they completed all of the work on the OLM? We don't really know. Andrew says you need a wireless mic. The problem with a wireless mic is like desync between audio and video, and I'm sure you know that well. But if I get a good wireless mic, yeah, that would work. I'm kind of in the middle of the road here. Get out of the road so people don't have to worry about me. But yeah, a lot of traffic down here. As you can see, this is Highway 4 right down here at Boca Chica, Texas. A lot of people are going out to the beach area, which is just to the front of me. The dunes are just to my right and left on either side of the road. But this is a busy traffic area sometimes during the week, and especially on the weekend. I kind of forgot it was Sunday. If they're going to do anything with this booster today, I hope they do it soon. Because again, I flew in yesterday from spending some time with family for the holidays, so I'm back home now here in Texas, and it's Sunday and I have a lot of work to do this week, so I want them to wrap this thing up so I can have a few hours to kind of hang out tonight, but we'll see. We will see. Yeah, so for anybody just tuning in, SpaceX did successfully move Booster 7 from the Starbase build site down here to the launch site. Waiting to see what happens next. Whether or not it gets lifted onto the OLM today remains to be seen. We'll have to wait and see. We'll just look for those chopsticks to see if they get lowered around the booster. What's up next for Booster 7? We don't quite know yet. Maybe a static fire. Maybe we'll see a full stack. Time will tell. Time will tell. All right, we have some breaking news. All right, everybody, take a close look at those chopsticks. They are now lowering around the booster. So we are seeing some action right now. Let me make sure my camera is live. We are. Those boosters are lowering down around Booster 7 right now. I just realized I was kind of talking to the camera on this camera angle and not the dual camera angle, so I feel like my head was probably just barely sticking out of the corner there while I was talking. So yeah, those two black arms that are attached to the launch tower are now lowering down around Booster 7. So they could come down and kind of just grab onto Booster 7, and they could leave it like that for the night, or they could surprise us and they could actually lift Booster 7 onto the orbital launch mount today. Again, that's not something I've seen before happen, but every day is a new day down here, and things change all the time. So that could be something that we're about to see. I'm going to adjust some cameras here. Any chance you can zoom in shot of the fence? Sure, man. How's that? That's the shot of the day right there, actually. It's definitely kind of sprinkling down here. Got some rain going on. My equipment's getting a little wet. I gotta be careful. Again, most of this stuff can withstand it. Henriette says, "Wow." That's what I say every day I'm down here. I just say, "Wow." I'm really psyched right now that you guys are hanging out here with me. Thank you. I'm having a blast, and I hope you are too. Harry says, "I'm guessing B9 will be removed from the site before any testing takes place." Probably, Harry. I suppose they could kind of move B9 a little bit further towards the entrance or towards Ship 24, and it might be safe. But I personally would expect them maybe to put Booster 9 right on the SPMTs that took Booster 7 down here and roll it back. While we're waiting to see if these chopsticks kind of pinch in on Booster 7, I will take kind of a moment to do some self-promotion. My name is Andrew. You are watching Rocket Future. We try to cover all these exciting rocket and space events. And if you've enjoyed your time here today, please don't forget to subscribe. I know you always hear all of us saying that, but it really does help, and it informs you when we are going live with events like this. So it really means a lot. Your support is super appreciated. Yeah, check out the YouTube. You're already here. You'll find the subscribe button where it normally is. But we're also active on pretty much every social media platform. So if you want to find us on Twitter or anything like that, just go to rocketfuture.org. Again, that is rocketfuture.org. That has like all of our social media links on there. You can find everything there. Most of the links are at the top, but if you scroll down to the bottom, we're working on a site. The site is definitely kind of in a beta. But again, rocketfuture.org if you want to find the rest of our social medias. But just you being here today and watching the stream helps us so much. It really does. And if you've chatted today, if you've been interacting in the chat, that just helps us so much even more. So thank you, everybody. Harry says, "Nearly midnight here in the UK, but fascinated by all the activities. Just subscribe. Great quality streaming. Thank you." Oh, Harry, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Harry. How's the weather out in the UK today? There's a few folks down from the UK here at Starbase this month. Actually, I've met up with a few of them. We've gotten to hang out some, and it's been a good time. Wow. I was away from Starbase for about 2.5 weeks, which doesn't seem like that long, but being away for 2 weeks, I really feel kind of reinvigorated with everything that's happening down here, and this kind of new motivation from just having a break from being down here for a couple weeks and seeing some family, matched with all the activity that's happening this week. Everybody is really amped up towards a potential orbital flight here in the next couple, 2-3 months, at the earliest. But I don't know, everything's just kind of coming together all at the same time, and I'm down here in bliss just watching this all happen. I'm feeling really good about being here at Starbase today. Tim Kittle just subscribed. Thank you so much, Tim. That helps us so much. Harry says, on and off rain most of the day here. It was rainy as usual. That's kind of how it goes in the UK, right? There's a beautiful Dalmatian running around. It is huge. It's near the beach, though. It's nowhere near this launch site. So I think what I was describing a little while ago was, what's up for Booster 7 next. We're not sure. We might see a full stack. We could see a static fire. Not entirely sure. But the first thing they do is probably get this thing on the launch mount either tonight or in the next couple days. And other than that, we'll keep an eye out on road closures. And that will kind of indicate whether or not they might be going for a static fire or not in the next few days. But I'm still hanging tight here for a little bit. The chopsticks are lowering again. So there's still a possibility that we could see this lift onto the mount here shortly. Again, we have some folks working out the launch mount on their lifts. Actually, you know what? Let me make a hypothesis here. We have some folks working around the lift, but there's nobody actually on the lift right now, which kind of suggests to me that there really is a possibility that they lift this onto the mount today. If there was a bunch of people up there working around, I wouldn't be so sure. But if they're kind of checking out to make sure it's safe to get that booster onto the mount today, maybe that's what they're doing. That's just a hypothesis. We'll see if it turns out to be true. And the fact that the QD arm has kind of swiveled out of place is a good sign too. They have a closure scheduled for early AM. Todd says Starship Gazer shared a shot of me. Wait, where was that, Todd? Was that on Twitter? I'll see if I can find it. I don't see anything. Discord chat. Got it. That's funny. Harry says, I reckon they will lift it, then take B9 back in the early morning closure. Ooh, that's smart. That's real smart. Oh, actually, let me make an adjustment here to our camera. Sorry, let me actually go back to this on here. All right, next thing we want to see is these arms close. I'd like to mention that it is completely overcast here. There's clouds everywhere. Granted, these aren't thunderstorms or anything like that, so the clouds aren't super thick, but we're still running on Starlink. So even with a complete cloud cover, we are live with Starlink satellite right now. And maybe that sounds dumb. Maybe that's like an old school thing where satellite communications don't work within these clouds. Maybe it's been totally fine to have clouds. How's it going?
Hey there.
What's going on?
I got a good question.
Yeah, you
that
got.
little space squatty looking spaceship looking thing.
Yeah.
Was that really a rocket?
Yeah,
Or-
so that's called Starhopper. That was the first thing SpaceX built down here. I think the story is that they hired like some local like water tower builders, and they built that and they put their first Raptor engine on that, and that thing has actually flown like hundreds of feet up in the air and come back down and landed. Yeah. Yeah, so that's actually flown, and if on your way out, if you look on the right-hand side, there's some rockets. One of those actually did a high-altitude flight test and everything as well. So, yeah,
Very good.
no problem at all. Have a good one. Some folks are super excited about what's happening here. Tim Kittle says, any movement around S24? I haven't seen anything today. It's actually out of view right now because the orbital tank farm's in the way, but I wouldn't expect them to be moving Ship 24 today, unless you're suggesting that they could be going for a full stack today, or maybe if Ship 24 starts heading over towards the launch site, then you'll know. But I don't think it's on a transport right now. Harry says, I would expect Starbase to have good Starlink coverage. Yeah, true. Ad Astra says, Andrew becoming the local tour guide, right? Yeah, I love it. I love when people come down here to get excited about all this stuff. Hey, after all, that is why I'm here. The chopsticks are continuing to lower potentially. I can't really tell.
What are you recording?
So I got a live stream up right now. I'm filming the rocket, and we're waiting to see if they're going to lift the rocket onto the launch mount today. So I don't know if you've been down here for the last couple hours, but they just rolled that rocket from the build site way down there to the launch site here today. So just down here to document all that out. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem. I love it. Everyone is so interested in what's happening here. It's amazing. Yeah, so I keep having to lower the angle of my camera. So yeah, those chopsticks are moving. Yeah, slowly for sure. I am starting to wish I'd brought my sweatshirt. It's definitely getting a little bit chilly. What time is it as well? So it's 5:31 right now, so things will get dark here maybe in about an hour. Actually, probably earlier given the cloud cover. So we will start losing daylight eventually. But I do have like a night camera mode that actually should work if we need to use it. I'm getting chilly real fast. Worst case scenario, I can just move inside the vehicle and continue coverage from inside. How's our battery doing?
What's your channel or where can we watch your live stream?
Rocket Future. So you can look at Rocket Future on YouTube, or if you can't find it for whatever reason, just go to rocketfuture.org, and you'll see the links to everything. Cool. No problem. Oh, they're so nice. I gotta get new cards made up to give people when they ask. Harry says it will be amazing to see the day those chopsticks catch it. It'll move a lot faster that day. Oh, absolutely. It will have to. Todd says, yay, new fans, right? Hey, every single one of you that are here helps. If you're just joining us, let me just do my quick intro again. My name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future, having a really exciting day down here documenting some historic Starbase events. Booster 7 rolled down Highway 4 to the launch site here today, hopefully for the last time. We're going to wait to see if it gets lifted onto the orbital launch mount today. And in coming days and weeks, we could see static fire, we could see a full stack, And in the next 2 to 3 months, we could see this rocket launch for the first time ever. Now, Starship, early prototypes have launched before, but a super heavy booster has never launched, and a full stack obviously has not launched. So if this is the first one to go, this Booster 7 right here, then y'all hanging out here today have witnessed potentially the last rollout before this thing goes to space. Or the booster won't technically go to space. It'll help get Ship 24 up to space, but I am definitely getting chilly. I wish I had brought my sweatshirt or a jacket or something. It's like, I guess we're kind of like in fog, or like right now. It's just like these really, really tiny rain droplets just flying around everywhere. But hey, I'm not complaining. Maybe I'm complaining a little bit, but I'm happy to be here, even if I'm a little bit chilly. I should drink some water, though. If anybody's watching and listening, drink some water, hydrate. Watch for your health. History in the making, says Ad Astra. I might have to say this stream is in the running for potentially my favorite stream down here yet. It's there's a couple that are up there, but it's up there for sure. Top 5 for sure. Let me make sure that my stream hasn't froze here. Nope, it has not froze. Okay. For some reason, this camera occasionally will just freeze up, and I don't know why. It's kind of actually very annoying, but I haven't really done much research on it yet, so I gotta do that, because someday it'll happen at the worst time. The lifts that were around the orbital launch mount have kind of lowered. They're not necessarily hanging out there anymore. So again, whether that's good news or bad news, I'm not entirely sure. But we're just keeping a close eye on those chopsticks to see if they're going to close up around Booster 7. You'd think, so I spent 2 weeks and everything's smooth here. Oh, awesome, Todd. Great to hear. Glad everything's kind of working. Sometimes I'll have some streams and, it's a little bit of a struggle, but if everything's working and going smooth, that's great news. Tim says, where are pickup locations on Booster at? I don't know if you're going to be able to tell from this angle, but yeah, I actually can't see. But basically, there's these little nodules. I don't know the correct term for them, but there's little nodules that those chopsticks will connect into, and I don't think I can point them out from this angle. Todd says under the grid fins. Can I see them from? Let me zoom. Let me go back up and see if with the camera zoom I can point them out. It's hard to tell. Is that it between those two grid fins there? That seems like a little bit high, but I'm not sure. Yeah, no, that's a good question though. If the chopsticks are lower, is that a bad sign for a lift? Probably, right? You got me thinking now. Well, I'll tell you what. It's 5:38 now, Central Time. We're going to give it till 5:45, and then we're going to make a decision based on what we're seeing. If nothing has moved at 5:45, we'll probably call it a day. But if it looks like there's anything exciting happen, that we'll hang out here as long as we need to see whatever we need to see. Yes, you can see them zoom. Okay, let me scroll back up there. I'll focus too in a second. Just give me a moment. I guess those are the attachments there, right? Sorry, the camera has a mind of its own. Let me get back up. That thing sticking out between the two grid fins, that must be it, yeah? Might be holding off now, or the chopsticks as low as they can go. Looks like they are. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm starting to think as well. I wasn't like really considering the fact that they had lowered them past the lift points. Todd says yes, that's it. So that could be a good indication that there's no lifts. We'll hang out for another 5 minutes. And then if there's not much else to see, I'll wrap things up and get warm. So, yeah, I'm anticipating that we're probably going to wrap things up here in like 3 minutes. So I'll do the whole outro, the whole thing. You guys know the deal. But between now and then, I do want to take a moment just to answer any questions that anybody has about what we saw today or what we expect to see in coming days or weeks. So now's the time. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop those into the chat. I'll also do my final pitch here about how you can find everything. So you know where to find the YouTube. You're on the YouTube right now. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to be notified about future events like this. I generally will only come out here and cover kind of like when something big is happening. So when there's something rolling, when there's a lift, when there's a static fire, I get those from cameras at Isablanca Park. So I think it's a good place if you want to only be notified when something like big is happening. I think that this is the place to do that. So it helps us out. It helps us out a lot. So I thank you in advance for that. Twitter is probably my most active right now. If you go to rocketfuture.org, you can find the socials for. Wow, this is quite the cloud cover coming in. Barely can see the top of the launch mount. rocketfuture.org to find all of the social links. Harry says, do they usually have people on the tower to guide the chopsticks under the grid fins? Generally speaking, no, I don't believe so. I think the first couple times they did lifts with the chopsticks, I don't think there was anybody even at the launch site. I think they wanted to be very careful about it. I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure once they have it in the right place, they don't really have anybody guiding it. They do have cameras all over the place. There's cameras on the end of the chopsticks. And I think that's kind of what they use. I know they had drones flying around the first couple times they did it as well, but I don't believe they have any people there to guide the chopsticks under the grid fence. Yeah, I'm sure there's people like when they actually drive the booster under the chopsticks. Obviously, people will be there for that, but. Todd, they still need to manually unlock all the clamps, I think. So yeah, it should be a while. Yeah, another great point. So basically on the SPMT, on top of that, there's like the little transport stand and clamps holding down the booster. That is a process that does take some time. Harry says, can't see anyone else around it, so I'm guessing that it's until early hours. Thanks for your time. No problem at all. So let's do the outro here. Get warm and have a drink. I'm off to tear this down the show and get the circus on a boat to Honolulu. Oh, enjoy that, Titan. Enjoy that. This is not the best looking scene right now with the way I have the camera set up, but that's okay. We're just going to do a quick outro. Everybody that was here today, thank you so much. We got to see Booster 7 roll from the Starbase build site down here to the launch site. Big things coming for Booster 7, Ship 24. Time will tell when we're going to see a launch, but hopefully these will be the vehicles that do it. Really exciting day. Hopefully to see this thing lift on the launch mount and have some testing in coming days. So stay tuned. Again, my name is Andrew. This is Rocket Future. Anybody that was hanging out here today, just watching, chatting, anything at all, I appreciate you more than you know it. This is the reason why I come down here to share it with you folks. So thank you so much. I'm going to wrap things up here. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. Peace out.